Elon is forming his own party. This committee supports and opposes only one candidate and is not an authorized committee. And the candidate name is Elon Reeve Musk. Should we create the America Party? People voted yes. If immigration doesn't get fixed, the country's over, full stop. He is now waging a war.
For 20 years, the big lie was that this kind of immigration didn't hurt working people. Now, economists have come out and said, oh, what a surprise.
It's official. Elon is forming his own party. Formed. Here's the document. Filed a statement of organization, the America Party. And people are already dunking on him for this one, saying, what are you doing there, Elon? Remember, when we've had historical third parties that hasn't worked out well for America, it gave us people like Bill Clinton. Now, America Party is going to be located at 1 Rocket Road, Hawthorne, California, and it just got filed. This committee dated 7/6/2025, saying this committee supports and opposes only one candidate and is not an authorized committee. And the candidate name is Elon Reeve Musk, FEC committee ID number. Okay, so does that make him a candidate for office or something? Elon Reeve Musk, seen that? Affiliated committees, organizations, the custodian of records is called this guy, Vaibhav Taneja. Now, this guy is getting dunked on from the X because of Elon's love and affinity for H-1Bs. Everyone is saying, oh, great. So the new American Party is going to have a treasurer and a custodian of records, and it's all going to be formed by a guy called Vaibhav Taneja. And you might say, that's kind of, racist. Maybe he's a citizen or something. I don't know, but a lot of people on X are dunking on him over this one. And this is, of course, in response to what Elon has done. Here's another document here. FEC form, this came over from Dustin Grage, saying, well, this has now been formed, the America Party, again, Vaibhav and others. And this is because Elon is just taking a poll on it, essentially. He said, Independence Day is the perfect time to ask if you want independence from the two-party system. Some would call it a uniparty system. Should we create the America Party? And he says, people voted yes, 60 to 30-ish, right? 2/3 yes, 2/3 no. He said, one way we could do this is just to laser focus on 2 or 3 Senate seats and House district seats. Given the razor-thin legislative margins, that would be enough to serve as the deciding vote. So he could just play like he's a bunch of like Joe Manchins and like John McCain's and Kirsten Sinema, or all these people, right? Viva, what's up, Viva? Said, I said it last time you posted this. If you want to know how a multi-party system works, just look at Canada. Do you want America to become Canada? If the system is broken, more of a broken system is not going to fix it. And there were some more posts. Elon apparently is now following Andrew Yang as well. And Andrew Yang was that guy who tried to run that like middle of the road dumpster fire party, the Forward Party or whatever it was, which was like a lib party for Andrew. So now Elon is following him, and we saw some interesting posts here. This is a big account called Bowtied Ranger, who said this, I wrote this back when Elon was chimping out over how much he loved H-1B Indian immigrants. Elon's been a great ally to conservatives, but at the end of the day, he doesn't know or care about what it means to have a country. He fled South Africa, then Canada, then California for Texas. He's going to keep fleeing to wherever it will let him stay, and so he can get to Mars. Debt's a big issue, but the bill is impractical, passable, and empowers Trump to handle immigration, the most consequential issue ever. And if immigration doesn't get fixed, the country's over, full stop. And guys like this guy, CJ Engel on X, said the treasurer and the custodian is an Indian. I'm dying. And a lot of that is because Elon, if you remember, he posted that he will fight to the death for the H-1B stuff. But he is now waging a war. So Mario Nafal reported about this, saying how Elon could break the two-party stranglehold. And Elon says it's not hard, to be honest. Like, he's just going to be able to do it. And I don't know about that, because Trump is the person who really broke the two-party stranglehold, but within the Republican Party. And Elon is going to form a third party. We saw what Yang did. That was pretty pathetic. We saw how Bloomberg tried to, kind of shove his way in with $100 million. At the moment, and at this current time, I don't see how this is beneficial to the Republicans at all, or the Trump agenda at all. And maybe that's the point. So it is a curious thing that is happening. Now, we also saw that Elon posted, Independence Day is a great time to do this. If you want a new political party, you shall have it. When it comes to banking or bankrupting our country with waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Today, the American Party is formed to give you back your freedom. He says the way we're going to crack the uniparty system is by using a variant of how Epaminondas shattered the myth of Spartan invincibility at Electra. Man, I got to reread my Homer. Extremely concentrated force at a precise location on the battlefield. All right. But we have some people who aren't going to stand for it. This guy has been very, very interesting lately. He's the CEO of this company called Invest Azoria. His name is James Fishbach, and he says he is going to launch a pack against Elon. James Fishbach, a vocal supporter of Trump, who until recently served as an advisor to the Department of Government Efficiency DOGE, said today he is launching a super PAC to help counter Elon Musk's potential political activity. He runs an investment firm. He said he's going to provide $1 million in initial funding to the super PAC, which is going to be called the FSD PAC, which is full support for Donald. He told CNN that the super PAC will work to back Trump's agenda and against anyone who threatens to sabotage that agenda, including Musk. Said, I want to make sure that Trump has all the ammunition he needs to keep winning, said Fishbach. And yeah, I agree with that. I mean, we were talking about what does post-Trump look like? Like once Trump is gone, Trump is a once in a generation, century, millennia type of figure. So what happens to the party after he is gone? And the mantle is handed off to somebody else. It kind of reminds me like it might be like a Reagan-Bush type of situation where you've got, this kind of this love of Reagan passes it off to the next guy, and the next guy's not actually the same as the original guy. And so then things start to shift after that. Plus, by the way, after that, it's 12 years anyways. And 12 years is a long cycle. People just want some change just in general, right? These are kind of the natural ebbs and flows of things. So what is the next permutation of the Republican Party? And we're definitely not interested in Lindsey Graham taking the lead or somebody like Mitt Romney coming back to the top of the fold. Now, it's hard to imagine that happens, but you could imagine something like that does happen, right? Like, let's say, and I'm really happy with Rubio right now, but let's just make him the subject of our hypothetical here. Like, what happens? Okay, JD and Rubio go against each other. Rubio wins, beats JD. Rubio comes in, and then suddenly Rubio turns into Bush third or something. Like, oh, he reverted all back, right? Like Rubio flipped back or something. So then the party shifts, and then what are you going to do after that? And you might say, well, it might be nice to have a third party. It might be nice to have an actual America party that is for America and not just labeled for America. What does that mean? And you might entertain that in the next cycle, right? In the next generation. But Elon is now launching this puppy right now. He wants to get into the game now. He's got a bone to pick at this moment. He doesn't want to wait until the next generation after Trump. He wants his say right now. And we'll see if he gets it. I have my doubts about it. But there were people talking about how amazing the bill was out over the weekend. We had Mike Johnson out today, Speaker of the House, explaining the bill's great. Elon and the Panikins, they're going to see it's all going to work out. We're actually going to save money. We're going to increase growth. The increased growth is going to cut back on the deficit. It's all going to work out. We're going to be booming, baby. It's the golden age.
They are overlooking the actual facts. All that is nonsense. Shannon, what we did in this bill is we made permanent the 2017 Trump's tax cuts, and that was geared for lower and middle class Americans, in spite of everything they said. The bottom 20% of earners saw their lowest federal tax rate in 40 years. Now we're building upon that. We just made that permanent, and we're building upon it because now we've cut tax on overtime and tips and had more tax relief for seniors, and we're giving everybody a tax cut, and that's going to help the economy. It's going to be jet fuel. Small business owners, entrepreneurs, risk takers, the people that provide the jobs, manufacturers, farmers get assistance here, and that will lift the economy. The Council of Joint Economic Advisors is expecting a 3% growth rate in the economy. That will be incredible. They're expecting 4 million additional jobs to be added. The average American, the typical American household, will have $13,000 more in take-home pay. This is a great thing for people who go to work every day, and they're going to feel that. And we're excited about the upcoming election cycle in 26 because people will be riding an economic high, just as we did after the first 2 years of the first Trump administration. This time it's on steroids.
We'll get
On steroids, baby. And we also had Scott Bessent, who was out saying much of the same, that now things are going to be
has to. And what we saw was this mass unfettered immigration across the border, whether it's 12 or 22 million people who came in, suppressed working people's wages. And for 20 years, the big lie was that this kind of immigration didn't hurt working people. Now economists have come out and said, oh, what a surprise. Even the laws of supply and demand work in the low-end labor market. So I talk about in that editorial what I call parallel prosperity, that for years Wall Street has done well. Now it's time for Main Street to do well, and they can both do well. And that's the one big beautiful bill. That's the beauty of this. It helps Wall Street and Main Street.
And we're looking forward to seeing it actually be implemented and come into fruition. Now, here was that post from Elon that I mentioned earlier, where Elon referenced this some time ago. He said, the reason I'm in America, Elon posted this as a reply, with so many critical people who built SpaceX and Tesla and hundreds of other companies that made America strong is because of H-1B. Take a big step back. Remember, this was, I think, when the Vivek thing was going down. And F yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. And I don't know that this is getting a lot of attention and traction now based on Elon's New America Party. And a lot of people are talking about how we don't really want a group of billionaires who just come in and siphon off America's economic interests. And I was looking at Cernovich too. Yeah, so here's what Cernovich said. He posted this in response to this. He says here, Elon's money allowed an already popular and powerful message to break through. That's the real issue. But he didn't come up with the messaging, right? It was kind of on the back of Trump. Now, it's why this conversation is difficult. He was a key player, but like LeBron, he joined an already winning team to get the ring. And now when you try to split that up, all it does is kind of hurt both sides ultimately. So we'll see where this goes. Hopefully things work out well and we don't end up with Jasmine Crockett as the president, because we've seen here in other instances where the third party candidate actually becomes a spoiler and you get the opposite of what you intended, which is how we got arguably Bill Clinton with Ross Perot. And there's other examples throughout American history. But man, we'll have to eat it big time here if that happens, because we thought we were clever and hilarious. Oh, Jasmine Crockett can be the nominee for the Democrats. We endorse her. Then Elon forms a third party, runs it, siphons off 20% of the Republican vote, and poof, President Crockett. Then we're all going to be axed to death. All right, so we'll keep our eye on what is happening with Elon, but I don't know how good this is. I think it's probably ultimately not good. We'll see if Elon captures any momentum, but if it starts to deviate from the Trump and the MAGA agenda, then it is going to be adversarial, and that's going to, of course, work in favor of the Democrats. So we'll see if that is what Elon wants to achieve. He might not be happy with the Republicans, but if his ultimate end is to help the Democrats, well, then how effective is that, really?